Today we're going to talk about the cop pulling the gun on the protesters who were blocking Highway 447 near Pyramid Lake in Nevada. And apparently a lot of the people they were blocking off were going to this event called Burning Man. We're going to take a look at this footage right here, and then we're going to make a comment about it. Was it justified for the cop, who by the way wasn't just a regular cop, he wasn't a state cop, he wasn't a federal cop, he was a Pyramid Lake Paiute tribal police officer. Let's take a look at this. The question is it justified to pull a gun on protesters who are blocking a road? That is the context.
Did anyone get that?
Yeah. It ain't over yet. He comes back around. Here we go. Now, before we go to this next step right here, before he gets out of his cruiser and pulls the gun on these protesters, is what he did already considered wrong in your eyes? He damaged property. Do these people have any business blocking off a public highway? What are the ramifications for blocking off a public highway? And then there's the actions of the cop right here.
Get out now! Get out! On the ground! On the ground!
I've never seen anybody pull a gun like that, where they've got the gun out and it looks like his hand is completely covering the slide, which is, it's kind of weird to hold a gun like that.
Get out!
I don't know, that's a side issue.
On the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't move!
We have no weapons at all. We're environmental protesters. They claim that they're peaceful, non-violent protesters, but is that claim true in light of their actions? We're going to take a look at that in a second. Now, as much as I'm against cops, let me just ask this question. What if one of the people who was in this miles-long line that was backed up because of the actions of the protesters, what if, say, 5 guys got out of their cars and did the same thing this cop did? Would that make it right? Is it wrong because this guy has a uniform on, or could anybody have done this? Was it appropriate to do this? Was it justified to do this? Now, there is a context to this. They were warned to get out of the roadway, and we're going to watch some of this footage too, because it's really important to put things into context. So they have this degrowth now, abolish capitalism, general strike for climate, burners of the world. Burners are the people who are headed toward Burning Man in the Nevada desert, and they're trying to appeal to the burners, the Burning Man people, and saying, hey, burners of the world, we've got to unite for the climate. They're in the middle of Highway 447.
Cool. Great artwork.
Right in the middle of the desert. This is when they initially, you can tell this is when they initially set up their protest, because if you look in the background right here, the cars aren't backed up yet. Wait, at the end of this video, they show you a drone view of how many cars were being basically held hostage by these protesters. Look, you can see down here that the cars are just now starting to back up. So you got a bunch of people getting out of their cars, talking about, is this right? Are we going to accept this stuff? And then they go up to the protesters, and there's this little scuffle. We'll watch some of that.
Do it. Obviously, you know you need film. I don't fucking give a fuck. Yeah, I'm part of the fucking press. Come on. What's the point?
Fucking over 50,000 people.
We could do better with what?
With everything.
No, I know that, but what the fuck are you doing? There's a traffic jam 10 miles down there.
Yeah, you guys are out of your fucking mind. People going around out of gas, water, like...
Yeah, you're telling us...
So you know nothing.
You're
you know nothing. Like, cool, you're making a
gas.
fucking stand. We're all trying to go fucking burn. This has been hours and hours of bullshit to get to this fucking
I've done
point.
it myself.
Oh, good, but you should fucking know better than this.
What are you doing here?
You should fucking know.
So while they're having this verbal squabble here before they start, they do start going hands on here in a second. But that's a good point. You're in the middle of a desert. It's dangerously hot. People's cars can overheat. They can run out of water. There's probably animals. There could be somebody who's experiencing a medical emergency and needs to get to a hospital. There could be aid in one of those cars that they're trying to get to somebody. Maybe somebody is in a vehicle and they're trying to get life-saving medical equipment or medicine to somebody. This right here is a threat of violence. This protest, this blocking off a major road, in my opinion, is a threat of violence and holding every traveler hostage. These people believe that they have a higher claim over your life to the point where they are willing to hold you hostage and put you in a dangerous situation in the middle of the desert. Even if the desert was out of the way and water's evaporating quickly and all that kind of stuff, does a man have the right to hinder the travel of another man? No, he does not. These protesters are clearly violating the golden rule. They would not want to be stopped. They wouldn't want to be hindered. They wouldn't want to be held hostage. They wouldn't want to have a family member in their car. Maybe there's a 5-year-old with 104.5 temperature and they're trying to rush them to the hospital. And it's just it's a matter of life or death. They would not want protesters in the middle of the road. It is self-evident. So these protesters are being extremely selfish.
This is a road, man. Are you really going to just put the government onto the floor? This is the democracy. This is the democracy. You have a right to protest. Get the call. Get the.
This guy right here says, this is a democracy. We have the right to protest. Absolutely. But this isn't a protest. This is an activity endangering people, literally putting people's lives on the line. They are actually taking freedoms away from people. You don't get to take freedoms away from people. That's called a crime. So do I have a problem with that law enforcement agent? I don't care if he's with tribal police. I don't care if he's a federal agent or a state agent. Does he have the right to intervene on a group of people who are invading and trampling on the rights of others? Yeah, that's what cops are supposed to be there for. They're supposed to protect and serve the people and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, which includes people's right to travel. So if there was ever a justifiable reason for cops to be in existence, it would be to do what that cop did. Whether, like I said, tribal police, state police, or federal police aside. I believe that is the justification for, if there was going to be a justification for police, and by justified, I mean the police doing the right thing would be to apprehend people who are trampling on other people's rights. And we know the profession of cops, generally speaking, is to trample people's rights. But in my opinion, but you can't use using deadly force. Well, they're using deadly force. They're using this opportunity to go, hey, this is a democracy. We have the right to protest. We have the right to block off a public roadway. More than Burning Man participants are using the public roadway. There are people out there that, like I said, could be experiencing an emergency. There could be, a person trying to rush their dog to the vet or rush their child to the hospital. Or maybe there's an elderly group out there that's suffering heat exhaustion. Maybe they have this 1987 Toyota Corolla. It is overheated and they don't have air conditioning. And now they're suffering heat. They're about to die because the roadway is blocked off. And now they can't get the help that they need. You don't have the right to do this, dude. This isn't a protest. This is an act of violence against your fellow human beings, in my opinion. If you guys have a different way to look at it, let me know. I know that Rick from what is Good Luck America had a different perspective on this, and he said that this guy using deadly force, that's way out of bounds. I disagree. I think Rick missed it on this one, and I think he might have missed it because he didn't consider, some other factors that may be involved. If you actively participate in a group that restricts the unalienable right of others to travel, and you are potentially putting them in a dangerous situation, to preserve rights, pull out all the stops. Is this appropriate for this guy to pull this gun right here? In my opinion, I think it is. So these are some of the events that led up to it. We'll play a little bit more here.
Yeah, it's a democracy. We have a lot of people that you're fucking up on the road. And you guys are doing bullshit.
Are you a burner?
This is how we try to wake up the community.
Yes, but like, how long are you gonna do
Are you a burner? She says. That's people going to Burning Man.
the highway?
Okay. You don't seem like you're in your official capacity.
No. You don't seem like you're in an official capacity if you're blocking the road.
This is not how we do it. Tell me how we do it.
Now, what I don't get is there's tons of people out on the road. There's got to be tons of guys out there who are willing to get together and go, hey, we're going to remove this trailer from the road. There's this trailer that they got. You could have easily gotten 10, 15, 20 guys out there to participate in moving that vehicle or that protest off the road. I don't know why they didn't do it.
People you can find on the planet.
We're not helping with climate change because we're doing
Somebody hate us.
Look,
Liberal policies. Biden is drilling more oil than any president since Bush. Like, come on. So liberalism is not the answer either. We need to change the system. We need burners to rise up. You're intelligent. You're a conscious human being. You're awakened.
what's your actual proposal?
We have it. Here's a flyer.
No, I read it. It said like Biden said the bad stuff. I know.
Okay, so, to me, I don't care about left, right, all that stuff. It's all a bunch of trash. And people are just getting pissed off, but they don't move them out of the road. Look at this.
It's a non-violent protest.
They just stop. She continues to say, this lady in the hat that we just saw, she continued to say, this is not a violent protest. I beg to differ. When you are intruding on somebody, you're literally holding somebody hostage on a roadway against their will, without their consent. That is violence. You don't have to have a gun to commit this kind of violence. All you have to do is do something like this. Just hinder somebody's ability to travel. So let's watch when the Rangers come up. This is from a different perspective.
Disband, get off the highway. This is a state route. Everybody will be arrested if not. 30 seconds. Send your leader to my vehicle. Let's talk. Get off the fucking road.
30 seconds. Send your leader to my vehicle. Let's talk. So they're getting a warning to get off the street. They don't heed it's a reasonable warning. It's a rational warning. It's a just warning, but they don't heed that warning. What I kind of find ironic about this thing is that the woke people of the anti-climate change movement are now coming head to head with the woke movement of the Burning Man people. So typically, generally speaking, people who attend the Burning Man event are for they buy into climate change and we got to do something. They're into politics, and a lot of time they're leftist, as opposed to rightist. But it's kind of interesting to see the woke crowd of the climate protesters on this side confronting and coming head to head with the woke crowd of the Burning Man crowd. In mere seconds, he's going to be ramming that protest blockade, and that's when he's going to come around, and we're going to look at another angle of him pulling his firearm. I'll take all of you out. You better move.
Get out now! Get out! On the ground!
Somebody's saying this might be a taser. No, that does not look like a taser to me. Let me expand that. You guys tell me if you think it's a taser. I do not think that's a taser. I don't think that's a taser. No, that's not a taser. Usually tasers are clearly marked. They're yellow. Yeah, I don't see. That's not a taser. That's a handgun. I don't know why he has his hand over the slide, though. That's kind of strange.
All of you on the ground now! Get on the ground!
We're non-violent.
Get on the ground!
We're non-violent.
Don't move!
Give me your last name and
So who's threatening to get the gun?
No one has a gun. No one has a gun.
We have no weapons at all.
Officer, will you tell me where you
We're environmental protesters. Please.
Trespassing on tribal land.
Stop resisting.
She's a drama queen.
Please. Please.
What the fuck is happening? What the fuck?
I just think this is one of those examples of you play stupid games, ... you win stupid prizes. I mean, what do these people expect? Did these climate change protesters who block off the road? I mean, what if you had to get to work? Now your livelihood is in jeopardy. Now you are jeopardizing somebody's life because let's say you're the sole breadwinner and you're on your way to work, but now you can't get to work because there's a miles long line behind you. Now you lose your job. Now you don't have a way to support your family. So you protesters have put that one man and that one family at risk. And that's just one example. Lives could be hanging in the balance. That's why people use roads to get to places that they need to go. And when you hinder that, you've become an enemy of those people that you're infringing upon. I don't see any problem with what this Paiute tribal cop did. I don't see any problem because any one of us could have done the same thing. Oh, you're jeopardizing all of their lives? Well, maybe we should teach you a little lesson. I don't feel sorry for the climate people, and I'm not for the cops, but this particular action in this particular context on this particular day on that highway right there, I don't have any kind of problem with what these cops are doing.
Yeah, make a video.
I was reading some of the comments under Rick's video. That's Good Luck America. By the way, Rick's got a good outlook. I just think he missed it on this one. I don't think he's a bad person. I'm subscribed to him. I'm not going to unsubscribe. But, some people were making some interesting comments. I'm more angry at the protesters than I would ever be at the cops in this situation. Those people waiting in that mess that they made didn't deserve that. There's no constitutional protection over the right to deprive others of the right to travel. Your right to freely move is as unalienable as your right to defend yourself. And when somebody bars access to you defending yourself or to freely travel, those people should be punished. And I don't feel sorry for them when they get punished. Sometimes we don't know who's in the right or wrong. In this case, it's pretty clear. I agree. So Rick, how about someone having a health emergency while being stopped by these clowns? I give this Nevada Ranger that just happened to be a Paiute tribal police kudos. I do too. I do too. And I would give any, I don't care if he's wearing a costume or not. I would give anybody kudos and commendation for doing what they did because they did what we should all be doing. And that's looking out for the rights of other people. You failed to mention this is on tribal land. Shame on the officer for not hitting the second pile when he turned around, this person said. I lived in the desert. My truck never had air conditioning. If I get stuck in that traffic in the middle of the desert with my elderly parents or even just my dogs, that is a lethal threat to our lives. There you go. Good point. Good point. And even if it wasn't a lethal threat, you don't have the right to restrict travel. Even if your air conditioner was working, even if it was a cloudy 69-degree non-humid day where you're not running out of water, you don't have the right to restrict anybody's travel. If you guys think that I missed it on this, I want to hear it. But as far as I see, this Paiute County or Paiute deputy or a tribal police officer who did this and took these guys off the roadway, forcibly took them off the roadway, did the right thing. Finally, cops doing the right thing. Am I saying that they're good cops? Bad people can do good things sometimes. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in this case, they did the right thing, in my opinion. Leave your thoughts about this. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Leaving comments does help overcome the YouTube and all the other social media algorithms. So I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. You can grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design like facts don't care about your feelings, or the Here's the deal logo. You can put it on any item that you want to. The important takeaway on this video right here is you have freedoms, and they are unalienable, and they are important, and they are life. And when somebody jeopardizes your freedoms, they are jeopardizing your life. And they're playing a game, and they need to lose that game. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Take care.